What's it been like getting back to practice this week and just kind of waiting to find out who you're going to play?
Yeah, it's exciting. Obviously the game's this weekend at 10 a.m. So, kind of got nerves and excitement throughout the whole facility on who we're gonna play. We're prepping for both teams, so we're all around excited as a team.
How will you watch that game? And I'm assuming if you watch it live, talk about who's going to watch it with, and then take notes, or what's going to be if we were sitting there watching you watch it, what would it look like?
I'm kind of looking at both defenses. Obviously this week we're going over Penn State and SMU, so kind of just looking at both defenses, but also just like having some time off and being able to just like enjoy the game, and obviously see their weaknesses and stuff. But yeah, I'm not going to really stress about it too much because that's what we got the film room for.
Is that part kind of? That part kind of seems kind of surreal that like two teams are battling for the right to play against you. Is that part kind of set in? And usually you're probably watching the game looking at one team. So I guess like how different is that aspect of it too, looking at both?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Obviously, I've been seeing stuff online that Penn State, thinks they have an easy path to the championship. But we got a good squad, and we know they're battling to play us, and we're going to be fresh and we're going to be ready. So.
Have you decided how you're watching the game, or where you're going to be at for that?
No, I'll probably be at home. I'll probably be at home hanging out, but yeah, nothing too crazy.
Are you going back to San Diego or sticking around here?
Well, it's on Saturday, so we'll be around here, and then next week I'm going to be flying back to Gainesville, so for a few days.
Matt, we hear about prepping for both teams. What's that mean? Is there something you can do that will help for both teams? Are you splitting time? What's that look like?
I think this week we're having two practices on Penn State and then another practice for SMU, but kind of just getting a feel for their defense, and then obviously whoever wins, we're really going to dive deep to what they're doing. But it's good to get a head start, so we have a feel for both teams' coverages, who they have on defense, and the personnels and the plays we can run that match up well.
So I guess with that being said, so is it like, let's say, Penn State wins?
Yeah.
What you were doing for those SMU practices, are you just kind of tossed out the window, or is there stuff in there that's still helpful?
Oh yeah, 100%. There's always things that are helpful. This week we were going against our service defense too. Our defense. Every team kind of runs some of the same type of stuff. Maybe they disguise it different or bring different types of pressures. But obviously, SMU might run different coverages than Penn State, but it's good to be able to have a feel for who runs what and what they're going to do.
We saw you. I remember last spring we started talking about you, like, oh, Lauter's having a great spring, and then kind of carried over into the summer when you guys started fall camp. Now you're first team all league. Just your growth in the last year, coming from a backup to an all league first team player. Just individually, your own goals. How satisfying is that for you so far?
Yeah, it's satisfying, but the season's not over yet, and I know personally that I left some stuff on the table this year too as well. So, just being able to continue to grow every day, but also having in the back of my mind I accomplish my preseason goals. So.
Coach Danielson, I just want to talk about kind of your first impressions of him. I don't know if you dealt with him during your recruiting process or not, but do you remember the first time you ever met him, ever talked to him? What kind of was your reaction to him?
Yeah, that was when Harsin was leaving. So Coach D stepped up as the interim coach there, and we had a little meeting with him. This was obviously in the off season, and I think our class was like, wow, this dude's like a good dude. He's happy. And he's just, he brings something to the table that, most people like really don't. He cares for you a certain type of way. So, yeah, I would say when Harsin was leaving and there was some gray area there, and we had that meeting with Coach D, I was like, wow, this linebacker coach is pretty cool.
So you never really dealt with him before that? Obviously being offensive.
No, yeah.
Might be a weird question, Matt, just with the transfer portal and whatnot. I figure you're not planning on leaving, but just for your teammates and guys who are, what are those discussions like? Because we're hearing it's so tough for guys to, it's too early, you want to stay for the playoffs, but just what's it like talking about all that?
Yeah, it's kind of like a topic we don't really, discuss around, the facility. It's you go in and you discuss with Coach D, if you're committed, you're obviously going to stay here, and we're going to try to win a college football playoff. If you don't want to play here, then Coach D is going to let you know that there's an option to leave now, or there's an option to stay with your team, and then eventually leave. But I mean, everyone on this team, a lot of people on this team are bought in. Obviously our main players are bought in, so we're ready to play this game next weekend.
Not to say you've taken the calls or whatever, but Spencer said he guessed 13 players have been reached out to by other schools to try to get in the portal. I mean, are you one of those 13, or if?
I'm not going to answer that.
Okay. That's all I need.
Have you watched much of Penn State's offense, and what do you think of Warren, their tight end?
Oh, yeah. I think he's a great player. They use him in an interesting way. He's obviously, 6'6"? Yeah, he's a big body, and he's quick for his size, but he's able to do things, a lot of tight ends don't do. They use him in a cool way, catching direct snaps and, even snapping the ball and running downfield and making a play. But, yeah, he's impressive. And, talking to, our defense, I'm trying to help them out too and let them know, like, how he's going to run routes and how he's going to try to separate and get open.
Bowers last year, him this year, do you see more teams going to tight ends, and do you think the position, maybe much like the tailback, is making a little resurgence?
Yeah, I mean 100%. Nowadays, I feel like if you're a championship team, you gotta have a good tight end. And in college football nowadays, I mean, we're using the tight end a lot, but they're also using the tight end. So those are two championship teams going at it with tight ends that are able to make plays with the ball in their hand.
You guys get some gear today?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, apparently the Fiesta Bowl had sent us some hats, so they're pretty cool, even though they're red, but we like them.
Is it, I mean, I don't know, something small or whatever, like some gear or whatever, but
yeah,
does it start to make it feel a little more real and stuff like that?
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's coming up, and when we get this gear, it's kind of cool because, you throw it down at your house or whatever, and when you're walking around, you look at it, and you're like, we're playing in the Fiesta Bowl soon, so it's exciting for all of us.
What does that mean to you, Matt?
It means a lot. It really does, because this team in the past, not this team, but this team in the past, like the Broncos have, haven't had the seasons that we've wanted to have, and this is a special group this year, and it's so surreal to me, and I'm excited to play in the Fiesta Bowl with my guys. Yeah.
I know Johnny kind of brought it up with your production and stuff like that, but
yeah,
I mean, what I can see. First Boise State tight end with 40 catches and 500 receiving yards in a season. I mean, I don't know. If somebody told you that at the beginning of the year, how pleased would you have been with that? I mean, Jake Rowe was a guy that caught a lot of passes. You caught more than him.
Yeah. At the beginning of the year, if someone told me that, I'd be like, wow, that's pretty awesome. And, for me, it's still knowing that there's, stuff on the table. I could easily have, a lot more than that, but that's why we practice. That's why we get better every day, and hopefully I can continue to show my athleticism and how I play.
When you say that, what's on the table that you're looking to get off the table here? On New Year's Eve, I guess. So you might have left a little on the table. Like, what does that look like?
I mean, just winning my matchup, and then obviously not having any drops or anything like that. Being able to play, fundamentally sound in the run and pass game, at all times during the game. And, that's the player that I know I can be, and it's, practice is helping me, reach those goals.
Man, I mean, you're 20 feet from the Fiesta Bowl trophies right there. I mean, just what to have a chance to be a team that has a chance to make them have to go get a fourth case here. I mean, is it pretty cool it worked out that it's Fiesta Bowl of all the bowls, and what do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super pumped. It's in Arizona, so it's a great spot. I'm glad we didn't have to travel all the way across the country. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, what bowl game it is. We're going to go out there and compete and try to, bring another case in, whether that's a Fiesta Bowl or a Cotton Bowl or whatever it is.
I'm sure, I mean, you see it every day, so I'm sure you don't always, look every single day, acknowledge it. But, I mean, just in terms of your recruiting or just knowing the history of this place and how many pictures in this building are probably from one of those 3 games, I mean, just to maybe be the fourth, or like just to have the history, knowing the history of this place, what does it mean that it is that game?
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty sweet, but Coach D hits it. Not only are we going to make history with this game, but we're going to be able to do something Boise State's never done, and that's continue on to the 3rd round of the playoffs and the 4th round of the playoffs and win this thing. So
You've played in some bowl games whether you won 50-0 or lost 50-0. That was the last game. Is there a different feel knowing that there's another game possibly down the line?
Yeah, 100%. I think, like I said, Coach D is doing a good job of letting us know this is a new season. Like, this is not just the Fiesta Bowl and it's over. Like, we got a talented squad, and we want to win a few games and move on to the national championship. So.
With just a little more time to rest, what is something Matt Lauter's done in the last week that you haven't been able to do, in the last 8 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I think more of just like kick my feet up and recover. And now that school has ended, getting in the film room and really, understanding, what coverages these guys are going to run and, how their DNs are going to play certain blocks. So having more time it's definitely helpful now that school is over and, there's not all that stress there. So
with more time and no football game, you've actually done more football.
Yep. Yeah.
Good to know.
It feels like,
Well, it's more, I would say, like, during the season, it's more compact. Now I'm able to, kind of just come in, throw my bag down, take, an hour or two to watch film instead of being like, hey, tight ends, like, we're here at this time. You know what I mean? So.
In terms of like recovery, like he's saying this time off, feels to me like it's a big deal that the offensive line and just the entire run outfit is going to be maybe as healthy as it's been since camp.
Yeah.
Like, is that a big deal for you and this team going in with fully fresh O-line to block for him?
100%, yeah. Our guys, I mean, obviously the coaches do a good job with giving us the time to recover, but we still need to be practicing, right? We can't just be sitting at home every day because, I mean, we still got to get better at football. And, that's what the coaches are doing is, Coach D's doing a good job with our practice schedule and stuff. And now that, our O-line's going to be healthy and everyone's going to be pretty much healthy, we're going to go out there and give it our all, so.
Matt, did you watch the Heisman Trophy ceremony?
Yes, I did.
How'd you consume it? What'd you do for that?
I mean, I was watching it at a friend's house, and I saw it go down. They had a team room event, but I mean, I was kind of just watching it at a friend's house, and when they call his name, you kind of feel a certain type of way for Genty, just because you know who he is as a person, all the work he's put in. But kudos to Travis. Obviously, he's a great player too. So. More steam for Genty, and we're ready to get it after in the Fiesta Bowl.
I mean, you're talking with Ashton afterwards. He said, but his teammates that know his character and all that stuff. Does that agitate you guys at all that he didn't win the award?
Yeah, I would say a little bit. I think when we get in the huddle during the game with Genty, like you're able to look at him and be like, this guy, pours his soul and everything into this sport, and it just kind of makes you go harder in a way because you know the person and player he is.